it was multiple times that happened and nobody knew. Everybody doesn't need your problems, but everybody needs your testimony after you get out the problem. Because I live on the creed of I am she is me. I'm the voice for the voiceless. So if there's anything that somebody has been through, if I haven't, I've encountered it or experienced it personally hand on.
Yeah.
There's absolutely no excuse for you to be oblivious, no excuse for you to do anything other than be excellent in every aspect of your life. And pretending can only happen. You can only pretend for about 30 to 45 days before the truth sets you free and whoever you lying to. Yes, for real.
Welcome back to another amazing episode of Finding Your Niche with Neish. I am your host, Nisha Rogers, and I am so excited when I get the chance to sit across from amazing, dope, phenomenal women who I feel have superpowers, like in real life. So I want to welcome to the show right now, Dr. Tiffaney Williams. Thank you so much for being here with me today.
Thank you for having me.
Okay, so y'all, it's Finding Your Niche with Neish, but she does a lot of different things. One of the most amazing things that she does is help you figure out how to navigate this world free and financed. And so talk to us a little bit about you finding your niche as a business strategist.
So for me, I am a problem solver. It's all about supply and demand. What do you supply that is in demand? That is my major thing. If you are not solving problems, you are not going to be long lasting. So I have a background in economics and accounting as my secondary. And I utilized that information that I gained and figured out what was needed in our community. And what was needed was proper business structure, proper business development, actually learning how to profit in your business.
Yeah.
There are two types, there's two things that happens with your business. Either you're going to create generational wealth and pass that along to your children, or you're going to sell it for 100 times X, right? So you don't want a business that is not profitable. So I teach my clients and individuals how to scale, create multiple streams of income, diversify. But my main secret weapon is I teach people how to live sovereign.
Okay, talk about that.
I teach people how to live in a trust. We hear the word own nothing and control everything frequently.
Yeah.
But the only way to actually own nothing and control everything is to actually live in your trust.
Wow.
Yeah.
Okay, so y'all, before we started this interview, off camera, she was talking about she don't pay taxes, how she got a driver's license, but she don't. Y'all, it's a lot. It's a lot of I have so many questions. Like, I don't know if we'll be able to answer them in this one interview, okay? But so talk to me about that, right? Living in a trust and living sovereign.
So with the trust sector, you have to have asset protection. And incorporating your business does not just automatically give you asset protection. People misconstrued, I have an LLC, I'm incorporated, I have a corporation. Well, an LLC is a limited liability company, not corporation. And if you are operating your limited liability company as a sole proprietor DBA, which means you're taking personal assets or personal liabilities out of that business account and not paying yourself, that company is null and void with LLC terms. So you can be sued and all your assets can be taken.
Yeah.
So for me, living in the trust allows you to have the anonymity, which is the secrecy and privacy of not being able to track what you own so that your assets are accounted for.
Why is that good?
Well, for me, I like the G14 classified life. So I don't need everybody knowing everything. When you pull me up, you might see a twos and fews, but for the most part, it is going to be in my trust, and you are not going to be able to find them. And if you are looking for me, you're going to have to look very hard for everything else attached to me.
Wow.
So,
and you like it that way?
I do. I'm not one of those people that's like, ooh, look at me, this is what I got. Let me sell this lifestyle.
Yeah,
no,
yeah.
I really want to hide my lifestyle.
Yes. And, you are for real about that, because like you are for real, because you're one of the most low key, high key, like living people that I know. Like it's crazy. So give me an example of like the day to day for someone like you who lives in a trust. What is that life like?
So my day to day is I don't have matching socks. I love my dusty Nike slides, and my jogging pants are probably gonna be old and dusty, and I'm gonna chill and I'm gonna eat good and I'm gonna laugh and I might watch a movie and do a couple of hours of work.
Yeah.
But for the majority of the time, I'm working when you are sleeping.
Wow.
A lot of my connections are overseas. I have residency in Dubai.
Okay.
I also have a property in Dubai, and I'm looking to do more over there. But because I am very, very big in the crypto space, a multitude of my business is during a different market hour. So when you guys are working like crazy, I'm finally chilling because I'm up at 2 o'clock in the morning until 6 a.m. or vice versa. So for me, my business is international. I have a lot of international connections, and I pride myself on really working smart, not hard.
Yeah. Speaking of hard, your life was hard.
Woo!
At one point,
Jesus.
right? You're also an author,
Yes.
3-time
Yes.
author. And congratulations to that, because I hear that's like in and of itself, it's like a big deal to like start and finish a book, that part. So congratulations to that.
you.
Talk to me a little bit about the Tiffaney that was the version who was, the stories that are in those books versus who you are today.
So you want to know who Tiff from Detroit is?
Yeah. Talk to me a little bit about her.
So Tiff from Detroit was a young girl raised in an urban community. My mother was my girl, but she was really abusive. And to just give you a little insight on the type of abuse, my mom would put a gun to my head. My mom bust the second floor window with my body to hang me out of it. I was called names growing up from a little girl.
Wow.
And it was my normality. I was a product of my environment. My father has been on drugs since I was 2 years old, so I never had my dad.
Wow.
But I did have uncles and male figures in my life that were consistent, but they were still consistent as a product of my environment.
Wow.
Right? I was raped at 16, and it was extremely hard. Only one of my best friends knew about it at the time, who I called right afterwards. But I kept it a secret for a very long time, and it created a darkness in me. Being an underdog, being a low educational achiever, being troubled. I was a troubled teen girl. I was a troubled girl. You're going to hear this little voice with that little Minnie Mouse little girl running around like here. You're going to hear that voice, right? So for me, I was deemed to fail. I was deemed a statistic having my son right after graduation. And it was really hard. Fast forward a few years, I took to selling drugs. I enjoyed selling drugs. I enjoyed hanging with the guys. I enjoyed being able to provide for myself on a different level. And it got me in a lot of trouble. So you're talking about felony fugitive, you're talking about felonies, you're talking about misdemeanors, you're talking about a life of crime, you're talking about suicide attempt at 21 years old, right? Where I take all these pills and then I throw them up within 2 minutes.
Wow.
So, I used to ask God, why do you keep letting me live?
Yeah.
And he always used to answer, it's purpose in your pain, and your purpose is to go and grab all the girls, the boys, the men, the women who are just like you, who lack believing, so you can show them how real I am. And I learned that. And a couple years after that, I started a nonprofit organization for troubled teen girls while I was on the run. Okay?
Wow.
You hear me? While I was on the run, right?
Wow.
And it became a real big deal in Tennessee. And politicians who I respected and honored, black and white, they helped me a lot with my legal issues.
Okay.
And they are the reason why I have a totally expunged record with no misdemeanors, no felony. I have the highest level passport even before I became a Moors. I've traveled all over the world. I have a nonprofit in Africa Tanzania and Zanzibar, where we feed the villages for a year. We feed the shelters for a year. Every year we go back to do the exact same thing.
Wow.
So life transitioned and transformed for me so different. And
Oh my God.
before the Dr. Williams, I was Tiff, and I was a wretched, honey, and I was something else.
Yes. That's so many things to unpack here, and to see you laughing and smiling amidst all the things that you just said you've been through. I commend you for the work that you've done to be able to enjoy life and to not only enjoy it, but to be able to kind of reciprocate in a way that gives other people the feeling of abundance and freedom and liberation and joy.
Thank you.
And so I want to unpack a little bit of what you said, because it's heavy. I don't want to
take a sip.
Right, exactly. Take a gulp. I don't want to speed past some of it. Okay, so Mother's Day just passed.
Yes.
Is your mom still alive?
Yes, she is.
Do you guys have a relationship?
I can't live with her, can't live without her.
Okay,
That's my girl,
that
though.
part. So when you think about that, because I don't hear a lot of people say, my mom hung me outside of a window and she put a gun to my head. That's not something that you hear every day.
Yeah.
So talk to me about the work that you've had to do to kind of, reconcile that mother-daughter relationship.
So let me say this. I was a bad child from the jump.
Okay.
I was hard-headed. I was bad. Did I deserve those things? Absolutely not. But I would try to fight my mother back. I got to a point where I was trying to DDT her on the bed, and that's why I was hung out the window, right?
Okay.
So, so for me, my mom went through a lot. And it was a hereditary curse on my family.
Okay.
And we were taught how to survive, not to love. We were not taught how to be nurturers, and we were taught kill or be killed. My mom thought she wouldn't live to be 21. So she felt like if she can teach me how to not be broken, if she couldn't break me, nobody could break me. So I remember asking her, well, what would have happened if you would have died before me? You did all of that grooming me to not be broken and grooming me for your existence to no longer be there, but you're still here. So what if you would have done that differently? What if you would have loved on me with a nurturing love and you were kind and you taught me how to be feminine and to walk in my femininity and to you affirm greatness over me? What if you were different? And you know what she would say? I wouldn't change anything that I did because I made you exactly who you are today, right?
Wow.
And then she would say things like, I ran track, I danced, that was my diary. And she never missed anything. She was the neighborhood mom. She cussed out all the kids. They still gonna come over and climb through my window and eat French fries, spend the night on my floor. My mom, I was a tomboy, so I had all the boys, They just grab pillows and sleep on the floor, right?
Yep.
So everybody still loved her. She was hard and she was raw, but she was still loving, and she was the kind that that was embedded in her. She didn't know how to do that fluffy stuff. She didn't know how to be gentle. She knew how to be a gentle giant.
What parts of who you are you thankful where you see your mom and yourself, and what parts are you like, oh God, I see my mom and myself, I wish I didn't have that?
My mom's strength, she's a superhero. She's been terminally ill since I was in 11th grade. They gave her 1 year to 3 years to live, and she's still living.
Wow.
She's a fighter. She is persistent. She has a voice that everybody will listen to. She has always showed me to never give up. If there's a no, you go after it until there's a yes.
Yeah.
And she gave me that. She also gave me abuse. So my son is 22, he'll be 23. I picked up some abusive things that I got from my mother, and how I raised him might not have been to the full extent.
Yeah.
But there was still some things that I wish I could have changed, because even a boy is worse when it comes to mother abuse than father abuse.
Sure.
Because a mother is supposed to be a nurturing, loving, kind person to feed their feminine portion of the man, right? To give them a balance.
Yeah.
To not tell them, wipe your tears and don't cry, you a man, you a boy.
Yeah.
You are supposed to embrace that and say, you know what, son, it's okay, you're feeling like that.
If
right?
anyone, he's supposed to be able to have the safe space to do that with.
Absolutely.
It's with his mom.
Absolutely. And I think I stripped that from him for a while before I looked at myself and said, I absolutely hate this part of you, Tiffaney, and you need to change, because if you don't change, you're going to create a boy version of you that he won't be able to get out statistically, because it's war on him as a double minority already. So you have to figure out if you want to have a boy mirror the old version of you, or a boy that mirrors the new version of you, because you can't just preach. You have to live it and walk in it, and they want to see you consistent to even believe that you made change and transformation, right? So I had to do that, and I had to look myself in the mirror and really attack the things that were so undesirable in my personality, in my heart, the darkness I carried. And that's the truth.
Is there a day that sticks out to you, maybe more than others, where you realized, you know what, I don't want to become a victim of my environment, and today's the day that I'm going to decide to be different in life and to be successful?
Well, I'm going to give you something that is going to be another movie thing, right?
Okay.
When I used to sell dope, I used to meet them in a certain spot, right? And I had already got the word not to do it, and I did it anyway. My daddy was addicted to dope. I was addicted to money, right? So I went, and the spirit that already was real uneasy, was weird. These two people I've been dealing with for years tied me to a chair in an empty apartment, took the money and the dope. My son at home sleep, right?
What?
So I already know I'm about to die. And instantly, I used to be mad at God. I wasn't a believer no more. I was just angry. But my grandmother was a praying woman. And
I love that sentence.
Man, she was a praying woman for me. And she used to make me say the Lord's Prayer no matter what. Every night I couldn't go to sleep without doing it. And I can recall being in that chair and telling them to just go ahead, take the money, take the drugs, just let me go. They wouldn't. For some reason, when he went to go taste them drugs, he was looking for a blunt and didn't have it. He said, I'm going to leave and go to the gas station. When I come back, I'm going to blow your head off, right? He leave, but he leave me with somebody else. The Lord, the Spirit kept saying, pray. And I'm like, pray what? What am I supposed to pray? I'm saying it in my head, right? And then it was like, pray louder. So I'm just saying the Lord's Prayer. Instantly, the guy starts shaking. And he like, shut up or I'm going to shoot you. And I'm like, okay, Lord. He said, pray louder again. I pray louder. And he's like, Tiffaney, my grandmother used to say this prayer to me.
Whoa.
I'm going to give you a chance to get out of this house, get in that car, and never come back. I'm probably going to be dead.
Wow.
But you ain't getting no drugs and you ain't getting no money. He let me out of there, gave me my keys. I was so nervous. I got on the freeway.
God.
I got on the freeway driving towards Atlanta. I pull over on the side of the freeway, hop out the driver's side to the passenger side, and just lay on the grass on the side of the freeway, just crying and screaming. I go further, I turn around, make a U-turn, go home, grab my son out the bed. I'm just crying and screaming. And he like, Mom, what?
Wow.
All I could think about is I was about to be dead in an empty apartment and you gonna wake up motherless because I wanted some money. I hated my father all this time for being on drugs and being addicted and choosing drugs over me. But I was choosing money over everything. That woke me up. 2 minutes after holding my son, I got a Facebook message from a friend of mine I used to call Mr. Bowtie. He was real churchy. He said, the Lord told me to invite you to my church. I was like, what? I'm like, all right, I'm going to go. This must be a sign.
Yeah.
I go to this church. It's white, it's black, it's purple, it's orange. It's in the country, like Ku Klux Klanville, right? It's a black preacher who's like real, like hood. He kind of reminds you of like a Five Heartbeats type of guy, right? And I'm like, what in the world? And he looked at me, he was like, I ain't gonna play with them devils. I'm like, oh God, what is he seeing, right?
Yeah.
And I never left that church. And that pastor was the only pastor in my life that was like my real father.
Wow.
Who loved on me, who treated me with kindness. You know, I was very promiscuous, so my dressing was not appropriate for church. And they used to try to dog walk me in the church. And he and his wife accepted me and loved me. His son took a hold of my son. And they grew me up under the word. And I messed up a couple times. And he still had my back. For real. So
and after that,
that's when I was like, you know what? Selling drugs is a corporation. And I was in school. I'd already had a cleaning company. I'd already had a credit restoration company.
Yeah.
So I knew business, but people don't understand when you're in the streets,
Yeah.
it's a corporation.
Yeah, it
You got
is.
profit and loss. You got inventory. You got staff. You got security. You got jurisdiction. You hear me? Let's talk about it. For real. Like, seriously, am I lying?
No, you're not.
Right?
No.
That's why they make the best entrepreneurs. So what I did was I said, you know what? I am going to transform and channel my energy in a positive.
Wow.
I am going to help my community. I am going for the underdogs because even today, with me not having a bunch of followers, right?
Yeah.
They look at me like I'm an underdog. And they don't know Yale and Harvard pay me $30,000 to come and speak,
That
right?
part.
So for me, it's like, it's a gift. I didn't get coached on speaking. The Lord told me, your tongue is attached to your purpose.
Wow.
Use it.
Wow.
And that's what I've done ever since, sis.
Oh my gosh.
That's
Who
what I've
are
done ever
you?
since.
What is going on? Like, who are you?
I'm just Tiff.
Wow. Okay, so your story obviously is an incredible story of journey of triumph and trials and redemption and failure and success. What would you say today, with all the accolades that you have, are you most proud of?
Man, you know what? I'm so proud of my son. He'll be 23. He's strong. He's solid. He's not addicted to drugs. He don't drink alcohol. He don't have any children. He doesn't have a criminal record.
Wow.
He doesn't desire to be anybody other than himself. He works hard. He's proud of his mother. He loves his mom. If I can, that's my most proudest asset,
Yeah.
because he carries on the legacy. And if he doesn't have the proper tools to carry it on, it will fall. And if I left right now, he would be able to carry it on.
Wow. That's huge. And that's what it's all about. That's what you said at the top of the interview, is like, you know, you get money and you become successful for one of two reasons. And one of them is to pass it on.
Absolutely.
When you think about, you know, all that you have, all that you know and understand, you being able to pass it down, but also looking back at who was the person that passed it on to you, as far as like your knowledge and your business acumen and all of your success, would there be somebody that you would point back and say thank you to?
You know what's funny? I used to reach out to people and ask for help, and they wouldn't help me, or it was an obscene amount that I had to invest that I couldn't afford. Or they would keep me on read, or they would say I wasn't polished enough, or they found somebody better to sit on the platform, right?
Wow. Okay.
So I learned early that I had to pay to play.
Okay.
And it took a white man coach to believe in me, who charged 6 figures for his coaching,
Wow.
to let me fly on his private jet, stay in a room full of a mansion full of already rich individuals. Not only am I the youngest, I'm the only girl and the only black person.
Wow.
He allowed me to come for pennies on a dollar and allowed me to make payments. You talking about a rich white man who everybody thought was racist, who believed in me enough to pour into me in a way to allow me to invest what I could, which was all that I had, which was more powerful than somebody investing with pennies that they have.
Wow.
He coached me. It was times that they would go to the cigar place. It was times they went to go hang out. And I would say, Coach, do you mind going with me to the water for an hour? I need you. He would go sit with me at the water while everybody else playing around. I would get up early and be the first one on the couch for our training. I would be the last one to go to sleep, and I would go to sleep in the room crying because I'm around all these rich white men who are already successful. And I'm on here with my last dime. But I got a chance to ride private to experience the level of excellence that I desired, that didn't come from anybody that looked like me, who reached their hand out and grabbed me and told me to come on.
Wow.
I have 3 men mentors and coaches that I pay 6 figures plus to annually. and 2 of them are white, and 1 of them is a black man.
Wow.
And I did not level up without limitations. I did not make multiple 6 or 7 figures until I paid to play.
Talk about that, because I think a lot of people underestimate that, being able to pay to play, that concept, pay to play, and how has it paid off for you and your success?
So we have all of these coaches and these strategists and these overnight successes and these multi-social media millionaires who are renting the Airbnb to take pictures, who are renting the vehicles to take pictures. It only takes one snapshot of a depiction to look rich, right?
Yep.
But you have to follow the fruit. And when you find somebody who is desirable in your industry, that is in alignment with your principles, your core principles, right? And you've watched their flow and you see their integrity, their tact, and their posture has not wavered or changed. And their public and private man is the same all the time. They are consistent in their execution. Don't reinvent the wheel. Find out how much it costs for them to nurture you in that industry to help grow you up. Because see, a mentor is free, a coach is not. And with mentorship, you're not going to get a high level of execution because it's no skin in the game. Nor are you going to execute on a higher level because you have no skin in the game. When your back is up against the wall, that's when you execute the most. So when I used to go and pay for events and couldn't pay for a hotel, I would go on Priceline and rent me a car and sleep in the car at the hotel parking lot under the light. See, that's skin in the game. That's execution. So I couldn't afford the Miami hotels doing 10X the first time that I went to 10X. I flew on Spirit and I rented a car and I slept in the car.
And you figured out how to afford to get in the room.
I figured out how to afford to get in the room.
Wow.
And guess what? It was multiple times that happened and nobody knew. Everybody doesn't need your problems, but everybody needs your testimony after you get out the problem. Because I live on the creed of I am she, she is me. I'm the voice for the voiceless. So if there's anything that somebody has been through, if I haven't, I've encountered it or experienced it personally hand-on. There's absolutely no excuse for you to be oblivious, no excuse for you to do anything other than be excellent in every aspect of your life. And pretending can only happen. You can only pretend for about 30 to 45 days before the truth sets you free and whoever you lying to. Yes, for real.
Oh my gosh. No, that's incredible. I think that's tremendous value that you just gave. With that being said, what do you think has been the biggest benefit to you actually being in the room?
I believe firmly that you have to get in the rooms of excellence, because what you don't know, somebody else does. If you are the smartest individual in the room, you are already deemed to fail, because that means you leave no room for you. You already hit your ceiling when you shouldn't even have a cap. So the more rooms of evolution that evolve, the more rooms you have a chance to get in, to learn more, to experience more, and to build more. If I weren't in international rooms, I would not have ever known the quality of life that I can have, having international banking, having Dubai residency, having a spot in Dubai, right? I wouldn't even have added those connections up for it to be profitable for me. Because you got to turn the contacts into coins. If you have a nonprofit organization, cool. But if your business is a nonprofit organization, you failing. And when you speak, it's to turn contacts into coins. Now, does that mean be transactional? Absolutely not. I'm relational, but it's still, what am I giving you and what are you giving me? Now, in my friendships, we're going to give without even wanting anything received, right?
Sure.
But when it comes to my business dynamic, I'm introverted personally, extroverted for business. So when I'm speaking, it's to make a connection that's of value, to increase something, a bottom line, something internally, externally. Some advice, some mental and emotional stability to add to what I already have. I'm not just talking to you for us to be new friends.
What is the time frame, right? From when you make this contact with this person, what is the time frame from when it's like you key into like, okay, how can we make each other money? Like, what is that window?
So I compartmentalize. I have people that I don't make money with, but let me tell you, we are not going to the bar together if we are not going to the bank together. So I have friends who can call me and shoot the shit.
Yeah.
I have friends who I can go club with and things like that, right?
Yeah.
But they also gonna call me and say, Tiff, I got a client. They want $350,000. They need that in the next 60 days. I can also call them and say, hey, even if you the janitor or the CEO, I got a new client that just got a new building. I just told them I'm gonna put the word in so you can do the estimate on the building and try to get that contract. If you are in something high level, guess what? We always plug in each other. It's my responsibility and obligation as a friend, as a sister. We always sis, all that fake stuff, right? My sis is gonna speak my name in rooms that I have not stepped foot in yet. My bro is going to position me to be better and protect me, right?
Yes.
So I don't do that. Oh, sis, hey girl, yeah, what's up? You wanna have a drink for what? What we about to talk about? Because we're not about to gossip. We're not about to talk about your man problems. Like, what we about to do? So I really just keep my energy cleansed. I do. Neish, I do.
Oh my God. I love
do.
it. Okay, so you just reminded me, talking about speaking your energy cleansed. Talk to me about who you are. If somebody's like, okay, relationship wise. Okay, because you're like, it's a big energy over here. It's a lot of big energy.
It's big energy.
Okay. So how have you been able to hone that when it comes to balancing that with masculine energy?
Okay, so, you know, feminine and masculine energy is in both men and women. And I'm not, if you want the best version of me in a relationship, I have to feel protected. I am in my most feminine origin, my most feminine energy when I am being heard, when we have resolution to problems, and we actually execute on the solution, when I am protected 100%, and when I am loved the way I need to be loved, not loved the way you feel like you should love me.
Yeah.
And when you honor my love languages, right?
What way do you need to be loved?
So for me, I like to be, I'm a lion. I could either purr or roar. So for me, I like to purr with my man. I like him to affirm greatness over me. I love words of affirmation. I love touch. I love essential touch.
Yeah.
I love for you to just think about me for no reason. You don't got to go buy me a $30,000 bag. I prefer a $30,000 vacation. But I like to create memories. And I like for you to be in the process of creating the memories. So when I have a man who is of real masculine energy and who is a protector and a provider, it's not in his normal essence for him to be a planner and a romancer, right? You got to kind of pick your 70% of desire, right? You're going to get 70%. The other 30% you got to work with, right?
Yes.
So for me, it's just, even if you're a protector and a provider, I want you to sacrifice and do some things for me that you wouldn't normally do because I see you.
Yeah.
When I could say I see you, it just makes me purr. It just makes me want to be softer. It just makes me want to just grab hold of you and just do some strange things for a little change.
This is turning to funny uncut.
Yeah. So
Have you found this person?
Next question. No. Let me tell you.
Okay, tell me.
I believe so.
Okay.
I believe we have some work to do. We kind of in a rocky space right now.
Okay.
And I know it's some me, it's some him. It's no blame. So for me, we have to start communicating to listen, not communicating to respond. Because it creates a defense on both of us being lions. He's going to automatically roar. I'm supposed to automatically purr.
Right.
But when I'm defensive, I'm roaring. So now you got the male and the female combating.
Yeah.
It's no resolve with that. So I have a very strong-minded man.
Okay.
And I honor him. I love him. We're just not in the best space right now.
Yeah. Have you found yourself to like be able to draw the line between Tiffaney, the businesswoman, and Tiffaney, the partner?
I have. So I have a 23-year-old almost. He has smaller children.
Okay.
And for a season, I was really, really depressed because my favorite human being passed. So from July to January, I was home.
Who are you referring to?
Which me?
Your favorite human being passed?
My grandmother.
Okay.
Yeah.
Okay.
My granny passed.
Okay.
And from July to January, I feel like he was spoiled because I wasn't moving around. I was just trading. I wasn't really taking care of business. I was at his beck and call, right? January, I felt something. And I was like, I got to get back to work.
Yeah.
My purpose is attached to my tongue. I feel like I'm losing myself. Soon as I did and made one phone call, Yale, Harvard, I need you in Costa Rica, 15,000. I need you to teach this class, 8,000. I need you to back to back, magazine, interviews, this, that.
Wow.
I think it kind of put him in a little culture shock because he was used to me being home a lot. So on his weekend of getting the children, now I'm booked. Now it looks like I'm not showing up for them because the weekends that he get them, I'm no longer available.
Yep.
So there's a lot of crossfires in communication with us because we're reacting right now when I know that we need to actually sit down and be responsive for one another.
I love that.
For real.
Yeah, no, I think that's huge that you've been able to have enough self-reflection to kind of like be able to even articulate clearly, you know, the gaps and maybe some of the lapses that have been contributing factors to where your current state is within your relationship. And I think that's important for other women to kind of be able to do the same thing, be able to look inward, right?
Yeah.
Because I think it's easy to kind of like look outside externally, point the finger, point the blame. But when you have to kind of go in and see, okay, where was I wrong at in this situation? How did I contribute, you know, poorly to this situation? I think that's huge. And I think that is going to serve you guys well for both of you guys to be able to do that. And I think that's amazing. You just reminded me too, because you are, like you said, back to back. You're probably somebody, I'm glad she's sitting on this couch because she ain't never here for real. Like, you're never in town. Like, you're always on the go. You're always doing amazing things. I would be remiss if I didn't bring up one of the amazing things that you're doing is going to be able to bless and grace the cover of In the City magazine.
Yes.
So I am so excited about that.
Me too.
Talk to me about how you feel about that. And just in general, like being on a magazine, kind of like what that does for your brand and how it kind of can help to catapult your success.
So I think for me, visibility is very important because we're visual individuals. I see their lifestyle. I want this lifestyle. I see this magazine. This black girl is on. I want to be on it in the future, right? Yeah. So it's almost like your vision board is coming to life. And the credibility, because most publications, they do their research and their due diligence when they're putting you on the forefront. And what I do really like about this particular magazine is the prestige that has been on the previous ones. Yeah. So it allows you an opportunity to be the face and a respected and honored face because you're meticulous about who you put on that cover. But it also shows your credibility and worthiness in your sector is also honored. Absolutely. So you can pull that up. You can use it as marketing tools. You can advertise those things. And it's important that you do get out here and you're attractive and attracting the type of audience that is desirable. Absolutely. And that helps with that. Yeah, absolutely. In the City has done an amazing job at, like what you said, having credible people on the cover and just being a credible publication in and of itself and just really representing, you know, being for the people. Especially here in the Atlanta area. Can you talk to me a little bit about the shoot? I got a sneak peek at some of your photos and they look bomb. So talk to me a little bit about that process. Listen, the gentleman who did my photos and the owner, one of the owners of the magazine, he's amazing. We was hot as hell outside. My makeup was running, okay? And I'm like, oh my God, my face is coming off. Luckily, I look the same with the makeup face or not, right? That part. But he was so kind. And anytime I'm like, hey, can you straighten the dress out? He even had to help me because he had some issues with people coming to help. My assistant son had a 104 fever, so she couldn't come. So he's helping me with dresses and doing things that he didn't have to do. And for me, over-promising and under-delivering is terrible.
Right.
But under promising and over delivering
Yeah.
is amazing.
I love
and I
that.
think working with him, I think he captured some amazing photos. I think most of my favorite photos were by the pool.
Yeah.
And it was fun.
Yeah.
It was when you can be like yourself and the energy of the photographer, because it's art.
Yeah,
So
sure.
the photography, the videography, the positioning, it's all art. So you have to connect with the individual who is actually, doing that for you to actually flow, and it just feels right.
Yeah.
It was a great experience.
Oh, good. I can't wait to see the outcome of that. I know it's going to be dope. And This City is an incredible magazine. But, okay, so also pivoting a little bit, because I want people to get some game from you, right?
Ooh,
they
game.
say, oh, my God, I want to live life like Tiffaney. What is it exactly that they need to do to position themselves to live a lifestyle like yours?
So one, if anybody even tells me they want to live a lifestyle like me, I don't work with them, because that means that you have to go through all the shit that I went through to even be able to get here. But what I do want you to do is tell me exactly the lifestyle that you desire that's not attached to anybody else but you.
Ooh.
Right? So when you give me an example from somebody else, already I think you have envy. I can't work with that.
Because you're trying to go after something that's not yours.
It's not yours. You didn't inherit it in any capacity.
Yeah.
So for me,
In the sense that, let me rephrase the question, in the sense that they want to be able to have a lifestyle that's built on freedom.
Okay.
And being able to navigate, and kind of do the things that they love and still enjoy life and not feel like their lifestyle is taxing on them.
so how I originally got the bag,
Okay.
I didn't have money to do the investing that I desired to do. I didn't have that capability. I was still at that low 6-figure, hitting the ceiling. My creativity wasn't as enhanced. I bet on myself and took a loan out.
Wow.
OPM is other people's money, other people's mind power, making money off other people's mistakes and other people's manufacturing. So I took a loan out and bet on myself and took that money to make more money. Paid minimal interest on the loan because I paid the loan back once I doubled or almost tripled it.
Wow.
Right? And did it again with a larger amount and invested again. So for me, diversification is important.
Okay.
Researching what you should be diverse in. If you are a low risk, high reward individual, medium risk, low reward,
What does
high
that mean?
risk, meaning whatever you invest, you have to be okay if you lose it. So if you only have $100,000 and you say, I'm only willing to risk 500, you're a low risk, low reward. But if you got $100,000 and you say, I'm willing to risk this $100,000, you're high risk, high reward.
How do you get to that mindset, though?
You got to be around the right people, and you got to experience wealth. When I experienced getting on that private plane, that was my coaches. When I experienced yachts, when I got in the car and smelt Rolls Royce, when I got in the cars and smelt luxury, when I walked in homes that had heated floors, you got to experience the life of luxury.
So how do you experience the life of luxury with no money?
Go test out a car. It don't cost you money for you to feel it, touch it, and taste it. Manifestation is actually, let me tell you, when you are manifesting something, it's either a dream or reality. So if you are not executing with the manifestation of what you desire to get, then that's going to be a dream. You got to learn how to pivot.
Yeah.
You got to use your resources. You got to get in a room. You have to invest, and you have to pay to play. So if you don't have the money, figure out how to get the money, and don't let anybody tell you no. You can't. So if you say, hey, I'm broke, I make minimum wage, I have a roommate, my car, I don't even have a vehicle, but you don't have no kids, man, you got a problem. Wow. Go get you 2 more jobs. Go get you another roommate. You sleep on the floor. You better figure it out. I cannot even fathom when people tell me they're broke and they don't have children.
Right.
You mean it? You should be working 22 hours a day.
Wow.
You got the newest iPhone.
Yeah.
But your iPhone ain't turning contacts into coins. You gossip, but you're not a blogger. You don't have a podcast, right? You at every party and every club, but you're not a vendor for the liquor brand that you like drinking. You gotta change and transform your thinking.
Yeah.
Because your intellectual property is based on the company that you keep. And that's the reality. There's no way that I'm going to pivot and be around people that are low-level thinkers, low executors, and have you on my front line as my soldiers.
Yeah.
Because when I'm not fueled, I need somebody to come and fuel me and fill my cup. I can't be the cup filler every day.
Yeah.
Somebody has to come and fill my cup as well. So you got frontline soldiers, which are at higher risk of war wounds, and then you got your role right behind that. Everybody else don't matter.
That's good.
Those 2 roles, they matter. That's your power of influence.
Dang. That's good. This is so good. Like, God, Tim, I wish you need to start pulling out more stuff because you have a lot of game.
Let me tell you, you got on me last time. I'm going to be honest. Instagram, I'm so angry at Instagram. I had like 25,000 followers that was organic. The hackers in India got me. Instagram didn't give it back. So now I'm just mad at Instagram. I don't do no content except for some pictures. I'm angry. And then people call me like, hey, Tiffaney, I want you to do this event. What's your Instagram? I give them the Instagram. They're like, oh, we changed our mind. I'm like, oh, duly noted. Let me go buy some fake ones real quick, right? My feelings hurt.
Oh, my God. I love it.
My feelings are hurt.
Okay, so you're, author.
Yes.
You have your PhD.
Yes.
You have multiple businesses.
Yes.
And if people want to tap into what you do and maybe to how to kind of like be a part of what you're doing and to tap into your businesses, what is the best way for people to reach you, and kind of talk a little bit about those entities that you have that people can fall under?
So you can follow me on Instagram at Dr. Tiffaney, and it's spelled Tiffany Williams. Facebook is Tiffaney, Tiffany Williams, or you can go to my website, which is www.whoistiffany, Tiffany Williams.com. And I have coaching programs for beginners and advanced. I have a VIP elite program for investors. I have several other programs if you want to incorporate your business properly, if you desire to get funding for the company, if you want to learn how to live sovereign, which is private or public, and that's becoming a Moors or American national. We can do that, and I also create trusts for asset protection. So those are the programs that I have. You can connect with me. I do complete strategy sessions. I do offer group coaching and one-on-one coaching, but be ready to pay to play. Okay? Yes.
I love it. Okay, before we go, because I do want you to touch on it just a little bit. Talk to the people about the public and private sectors.
So the public and private sector is no game. You got a lot of people teaching it, but they're teaching it in a way that you have to pay for their program. So for me, my team and I, we actually do the work for you hand in hand, hold your hand. We also coach you on how to live through it. So I do not pay taxes. I have 100% anonymity, which is secrecy. I have a trust where all my assets are under, and it's a private trust. It's a 5-pillar trust.
Wow.
You will not be able to find anything that I own, and the things that you can find is because I want you to be able to find them. It's called bait, and I'm perfectly fine with that. My license plates on my cars have been expired forever. The police will not pull me over. I have a Moors 5-star passport. I have my national driver's license, and I also have a couple other G14 classified things.
Wow.
So, it's a process. It's about a 90-day process to learn to actually have the information and documents and to serve as sovereignty, but it's a lifestyle that you have to learn. You can't pay for me to make you sovereign, but you can pay for me to coach you through the sovereignty process.
Wow.
So that is my bread and butter. That is my secret component.
Hold on. I know a lot of people out there are trying to figure out how they don't have to pay taxes.
Yeah, so you're tax deferred indefinitely. For one, it is your God-given right. You were born wealthy. And not to get into too much details, but the United States is a corporation, and you are not a U.S. citizen if you weren't born in a 10-mile radius of the District of Columbia. So a lot of people don't know that. You stand for the flag and you're going through the motions, but honestly, you're not a United States citizen. Secondly, the United States is an LLC, and we owe China over $27 trillion, period, as consumers.
Wow.
Not only are you not a U.S. citizen, but if you look at your driver's license, it's in all caps. All caps is a corporation. So you are not the corporation.
Wow.
So you have to figure out how to live in your lowercase.
Okay, that's it. I'm done. I'm officially done with this episode. I am like so fascinated by you. You are like y'all.
G14 classified.
G14 classified. That's what I'm gonna call this episode. G14 classified. Well, Tiff, it's been a pleasure sitting and talking with you. Just like I said, a couple of minutes ago in the interview, for you to be able to sit here, smile and laugh, and just enjoy your life today and what it is amidst of what you've overcome, is completely inspiring and so aspirational for people who might find themselves in a position that you once were. What words of encouragement would you have to that young girl, that young boy, as we close, of how you would tell them what they can do to make it out of that situation?
Your voice is needed in this world. No matter what, you leave your footprint. And your footprint is your birthmark. And it is your God-given right to give this world the best version and the most excellent version of yourself. And remember that procrastination is the key to being unsuccessful. So you got to go after it. You got to want to eat it, breathe it, and sleep it every day. If success is what you desire, do not measure it to anybody else's level of success. Figure out what success is to you. If that's happiness, if that's being a mom, if that's being a wife or a father, if that's being a husband, if that's being a multi-millionaire, if that is, being the largest investor in the world. You have to honor your goals. You owe it to yourself to achieve every single goal. And just because you have to jump over hurdles does not mean you have to fall. You may just slip a little bit, but don't fall. And that's what I'll leave you with.
There it is. And I don't have nothing else to say other than that. So, yeah, peace.